What's up, party people? It has been a minute since I'm not even sure what this is going to be. I think it's going to be a vlog that's going to go on Tara Talking because it's been a really long time since I've done that. But it might end up turning into a podcast. It might end up turning into a Facebook video or an Instagram video. I have so many irons in the fire, which is a large part of the problem. But I figured tonight was as good a night as any. I have been going through some, I don't even know how you term it, learning. I feel like every time I'm catching my breath and I'm like, oh, I've been going through this learning and now I'm kind of hitting this plateau and life is calm and this is how it's going to go, then a whole other wave of learning starts. And learning is hard and painful and causes me, at least, and if you've ever gone through this, you get it, you dig so deep into unearthing and excavating stuff out of your soul where you thought you had dealt with it, and if you didn't deal with it, you thought it was buried deep enough that you never would have to deal with it again. So yeah, that's been what's going on in my life. It has been an intense, I mean, I say this all the time, but like the last 3, 4, or 5 years have just been full of this, right? Like learning and going through hard stuff and learning some more and going through more hard stuff. And I realized that this is just kind of what life is. It comes down to how are you reacting to the things that happen in your life? Because that's really the only thing you have control over. Your reaction, your choices that you make when you hit a crossroads of something bad is usually what determines how good it ends up being. Because not everything that happens in life is bad. Not even all the learning moments are bad. It's your reaction to them that makes them either something that you look back on as, oh, I'm so glad that's over, or you look back on and you're proud of how you got through it. And that's where I've been trying to get to the last year, definitely, is getting to that place where if something bad is facing me or I'm up against a really hard wall, how I react to it is the only thing I can control. I can't control whether or not a situation happens or arises, but I can control how I react. And I've learned that how I react also dictates how 4 other little women react right behind me. And that's a lot of pressure. And that's been a tough row to hoe this last year, because there's been times where I haven't wanted to respond in a good, nice, calm, peaceful way. I've wanted to feel however I feel and yell whatever I feel like yelling. But I've had to realize that it's not always about me, right? 42 years later, I'm learning this lesson. The universe does not actually revolve right directly around where I'm at. Newsflash. But it's been, I feel like I'm finally starting to put some pieces together and really make some forward momentum. To that end, I think one of the majorest points that I wanted to talk about in this blog, vlog, whatever, is the fact that I have started writing the book, or at least a book. I have had so many of you over the last few years tell me, you should write a book. You're such a good writer. You should write a book. And to be completely honest with you, since I was 8 years old, I've known that there was a book inside. I thought it was going to be more like Laura Ingalls Wilder, basically just a rewrite of Little House on the Prairie, except that I didn't live in Little House on the Prairie time, so I wasn't quite sure how it was going to turn out. Like, here's my home with running water and electricity. It got cold sometimes because my dad wouldn't let us turn the heat on. But that's about the extent of it. And then when Kendall came, and that was really what prompted a lot of, write the book type of requests or encouragements, or, I'm losing vocabulary because it's late at night, but that was where a lot of it came from, was telling Kendall's story. And I guess to some level, maybe some people meant it, tell my story, and Kendall's story kind of came through that. I've spent a good amount of time trying to figure out, where does Kendall's story start and my story ends? They are intensely tied together. But I have actually done a lot of soul searching over the last couple of weeks, actually. It's not been a long time that I've been on this path. But realizing that there's more than one book in there. And they each have a different tone and message and reason for being written. And I'm just writing. I'm not sure which chapter of which book I'm even writing, but it's where I feel the most at ease, and just the direction that I think that I'm supposed to go in right now. So that's what I've been doing, and it's exciting, but in my research, I'm realizing that there's a lot that has to go into this, and part of that is building up my platform, my blog readership, the fact that my blog is in a constant state of hodgepodge, mishmash, new template, new copy, new pictures, old copy, old template. And just all of that. So you're going to start seeing a lot more of me on here on this blog. It would mean so much to me if you have at all ever thought, I want to read her book someday. Share the blog, share the Facebook page for Tara Talking, share Kendall's page, whatever you can do to just help continue to keep readership and growth and all that kind of stuff, so that eventually when I take the manuscript to the publisher, I say, there's going to be readers, and here they are. So that's what we're going to be working on for the next few months, hitting it pretty hard. But my hope is that it's not just, hey, like my page because I said to, that it's, you're getting a lot of value out of it. There are notebooks filled with kind of some of the journaling and the learning that I've been doing, and I'm excited to start sharing a lot of that more freely too. I realized that throughout the last years of my marriage, and I only refer to it just because it's a container of time within which I can identify. During the last few years, I had really lost my own voice. And part of the learning that I'm doing is realizing, that like there's energy constantly flowing in and around and through our bodies. And that energy getting stuck in my throat chakra is what it's called, just energy center in your body. Really just took away my ability to speak up about what I was going through, asking for help that I was in desperate need of, and even really just sharing the reality of what life is like with a kid like Kendall. And obviously that has gotten better over the last few months as we have, been able to peel back some of those intense medical interventions that she was needing, which, hallelujah, and thank God for that. But there was a time when it was legitimately overwhelming, and yet I was so stuck in, I just got to keep barreling forward mode, that I couldn't even say, hey, I'm drowning. And that drowning was what was taking away my voice. It was taking away my ability to say, this is not okay. I'm not okay. And we all need help. But I'm finding that again. I'm getting really good at asking for help when I need it, or just saying, you know what, this is too much. This is more than I can handle right now. And I'm not okay with that. So, yeah, so much learning that I hope to be able to share, because those words are starting to come. The lessons are starting to kind of present themselves as actual lessons and not just me going through a lot of really dark days for no good reason. I am so, like, as one of my part-time jobs, I help women who are building their business. I help them kind of go through some clarity exercises, and we talk through what their business is, and I help them, find their own voice. And I love this. And I love that teaching aspect of being able to say to someone, you're right here underneath a concept. Let me put it into something that, you might be able to attach to your own life. And to watch them grasp a concept and just learning, head exploding, like mind blown. I live for that feeling, that teaching feeling. And I've never really thought of myself as being a teacher. And yet I've realized I love and I live for that. So I am really excited to kind of get back into that, whether it's with videos or just the podcast or just the writing. And the hard part about the writing is that I don't get to see if any of that like mind-blowing stuff happens. But I am so hopeful that me having gone through and learned these lessons can at least help give framework to someone else. The bottom line is that when you're learning something, you have to learn it. No one else can walk through your dark valley for you. People can walk alongside you. They can stand at either end and say, hey, I'm here and you're almost through it. Keep walking towards my voice, even if you can't see me. You can have teachers and mentors and people who help you through that learning, but you have to walk that valley. And that's where I hope that I can start giving that guideline, that framework of knowing, hey, I've been in that valley, I've been in these trenches, and I've done a lot of the learning, and here's what I've learned. And if it helps you when you're deep in your valley, then great, it was for a reason. So that's one of my biggest passions and hopes, and where I think the last few years have been leading me to that purpose. And I'm excited about that. So that's really kind of what has been going on in this completely unscripted little vlog that I decided to start. I guess that was the point. It's just to say the book is coming. A book is coming, and another one hopefully soon behind that. But there's a lot of work that has to go into getting that actually in your hands, and I'm excited to do that. I don't know what it's going to look like because there's not really a whole lot of money to be made in just writing. So we're going to have to figure some stuff out, but I know that I have not been failed yet by a God who is very faithful. And I know that I figure it out somehow. Somehow the bills get paid and we have food on the table. And I don't think that that's not going to be a continuing track record at this point. So that's my update. And I would value any input that you have back. If you have had a question about anything, or you're going through something and you wish there was a book about X, Y, or Z topic, let me know. Communicate that back to me somehow, because I want this to be the kind of book that you can't wait to go pick up at the bookstore, and that you come back to it time and time again. I've always known that it was going to be like a bigger book than just, oh, that was really nice and inspirational, thanks. I hope that it's helpful. I hope that it actually like means something to someone's life. So that's my passion. That's the dream that has always been hard for me to put into words, and I don't know why. I think it was just the lack of confidence, the lack of being able to speak my full truth, that I want to write a book, and I want to write a big book, and I want to write a best-selling book. And, you know, whether or not that happens, I don't know, but that's the kind of book that I'm sitting down to finally write and to figure out how and where, and to get it out past being stuck up here and into words and out through my fingertips. And that's where we're going. So that's that. I thought there was maybe one other thing that I was gonna say, but it's completely gone right now. So yeah, just get in contact with me. There are multiple ways. Writing a comment on the blog, there is somewhere up towards the top, there is a little letter envelope icon that is to email me if you don't want to leave a public comment. Comments are moderated because I had so much junk mail, so most comments don't show up immediately anyways. I have to see them and then release them. So don't feel like it's going to just instantly like broadcast to the world if you have a comment. But you can message me through the Tara Talking Facebook page, which is how most of you find this blog. But if you're not on the Facebook page, it's, if you type up in the search bar, Tara Talking the blog, it takes you to the Facebook page. Tara Talking is my personal page because I don't know what I was doing when I set up my Facebook account. I was not happy about leaving MySpace, FYI. I was down with MySpace and I thought Facebook was going to go away. So I was a little wrong on that. Anyways, now I'm just completely rambling and I'm supposed to be doing yoga so I can go to bed. I'm actually liking doing my yoga stretches and some it's not full yoga and it's not really exercise, but it's kind of just this movement that I do every night, and it's nice. It's helping me sleep better. So as backwards as it is, welcome to my backwards circadian rhythm, where working out 10 minutes before I crash into bed is how I do. So I think that's it. I'm sure there's gonna be more rambling other times. I'm also hoping to get back into my rhythm with the podcast. If you have a topic for that, if you know someone who I should interview on the podcast, if you want to be interviewed on my podcast, get in touch with me. Let's set it up. I'm totally down. So thanks for watching this. If you've made it through all, it's going to end up being about 19 minutes by the time I'm done rambling. So thank you for being here. For those who have been faithful for the last 11 years, I think I've had the blog, and you've just been there and have just watched and read whenever I sporadically showed up, I'm going to start being so much better about it. So if you see a post, hit like, interact with it, share it, do whatever you can. It'll help the whole train keep moving, and I will be so eternally grateful to you. So that's it for now, and I can't wait to hear from you, and we'll talk to you later. Peace out, party people.